plans to have them for a while, and then
Has your family come to visit yet?
no, mom has arthritis, and her mom lives with her, so it's like it's
Hard to
difficult
leave.
her.
Yeah.
But like my husband's family visits often.
Are they all from Delhi? Where are you
Yes.
guys? Okay, nice.
Actually.
Oh.
So they all live in the same city, super close to each other. Not a very good thing. But that's how it
Bluetooth. The setup looks perfect. Everything looks great. Thank you. Okay. Great. And here comes it. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Great. Okay. There's a strap here. Hi. We'll start in a couple minutes, y'all, but while you're getting settled, you can go ahead and grab all of the props if you don't have them. We'll definitely use a strap today, so if you want to grab one now, we'll use some therapy balls where we can start to roll later on. The blankets are back and washed, so if you want to grab some blankets for extra knee padding, and then blocks to round it all out. We're just waiting on a few more folks to come in. Is it hot? What are we feeling? It was cold when I walked in. Cold. Hot. We're gonna get warm. We will get warm. It's cold. Okay. Not. Yeah, you can definitely go there. Yes. The only space is just because of the camera. We leave this little catwalk free, but that's great. Over here is great. Perfect. Yeah, that spot, whenever I come to practice, and then in front of the closet door is always where I go, where I'm like, it's nice to be in the front because you don't see anyone. You just see the wall. Do they? I think there's plenty of room for everyone to fit in, but just in case, if you see a spot, you might inch a centimeter or two closer. There might be a spot right there if you want to go there. Or if you can definitely come up front if you'd like to come up front. Okay, I think everyone's here. All right, we'll get started. There might be a few more folks who trickle in as we practice, but good to see you guys. Happy Monday. Fall, officially, by the calendar year and by the leaves. So happy autumnal equinox for those that celebrated. The acute thing happens when you're new to the studio or new to class. I just like to check on the checklist to see that we have enough room for everyone, but a very sweet little blue star comes up to your name when you're new to the studio. So there was a few blue stars. So on the off chance we didn't officially get to say hi to each other or meet, my name is Anisha, and we're so lucky here to have Kashika with us each week, who will be assisting class. So the way that it works, some of you know this already, but I practice from the mat so people at home can have a visual, and then Kashika will be walking around. If you have any questions or things that I say that don't make sense, please feel free to pick her brain, because she's such a phenomenal teacher and such a phenomenal resource to have in class. And she'll offer some assists, but as always, if you see her coming too close and you're like, no, I'm not interested, swat her away, tell her no, tell her, please leave me alone. It is no, nicely, but it is no skin off of our backs by any means, but lucky to have her. All right, one more, is next week October? Oh my God. Okay, it's a good thing. It's a nice thing to have time moving slowly. But for the whole month of September, since the beginning until now, we've been talking about in class about one of the great lords and gods of yoga. And so today will be the last story that we share, and next week, something completely different. But in the very beginning of the month, on September 6th and 7th, was the birthday of one of the great gods of yoga, who you see kind of peppered all throughout the studio. His stuffed animal is above the camera to prevent you from bonking into it, which occasionally works, but I'm usually the one that bonks. And there's small little deities of him peppered all throughout the studio. So his name is Ganesh or Ganpati. He is the elephant-headed god, the one with the head of a large elephant and the body of a large baby boy. This is not related, but is anyone on the corner of the internet where we're seeing Mudeng, the baby hippo? A gift from the heavens. If you haven't seen her, very good. You're living of this world and not on the internet like I am, but she's a tiny baby pygmy hippo who's just born in Thailand. And she is an inspiration to us all, where she likes to sleep and then likes to bite people when they are doing things that she doesn't want. She doesn't like to take baths. She's a very independent woman. And we'll tie her into our yoga practice in a moment. But the Ganesh or Ganpati, he is known to be the remover of obstacles. That's what he's best known for. You call upon him when you're about to embark on a new task or on a new journey, when you are, looking for some clearance in and through your path. So the past few weeks, I shared his origin story, how he came into this world. Last week was the story all about his mouse, the vehicle that he rides on the back of. And this week is the story of what he kind of does as an adult. So he is known, you'll see if you ever look at pictures of him, he has the head of an elephant, a long twisted trunk, and two tusks that are always out. And as he grows older and wiser, he becomes a great sage, and he becomes in the company of a sage named Vyasa, which essentially means a storyteller. And Vyasa is the one who who orally says the Mahabharata, one of the great texts and traditions of the yogic and Hindu, tradition. So what he does is Ganesh, in the company of Vyasa, says, okay, I will be the scribe. I will write down everything that you tell me, because historically, all of the stories and mythology in yoga have been told orally. Nothing had been ever written down, so they get passed on from generation to generation. So Ganesh says, I want to be there to help you as you start to write down this story. So Vyasa says, okay, on two conditions. One, you never stop writing, no matter how fast or how quickly or how complicated the story gets. You can never stop your transcription. And two, you can't ask me questions about what it is. And so Ganesh says, sure, I accept these terms. So they begin the process of transcribing the Mahabharata. And in a moment, I'll tell you why this is important. But Ganesh is writing with a quill, and he's transcribing everything that Vyasa says. And occasionally, Vyasa wants to take a break from his oral tradition. He wants to stop talking. He wants to give himself a moment to pause. And so he says a very complicated script. He'll say something that's like really esoteric and doesn't make sense. So Ganesh has to stop a little bit, think about what he's saying, and that's a built-in way of giving Vyasa a little break, to drink water, to take a breath. And eventually what happens is Ganesh is writing so much that his quill breaks. And he knows the agreement is I can't stop writing regardless of what circumstances are presented to me. So he breaks off one of his own tusks and he begins to use that to write the Mahabharata itself. So that's one of the ways, one of the lineages and stories of how this ancient text came to fruition. And so why am I telling you this story in Philadelphia in 2024 as we're about to begin a yoga class? And one of the reasons is because, you know, when you hear the stories of all of these gods and goddesses, the reminder is that they're not separate from us. The gods, the goddesses, they were created by human beings. They were made as a reflection of each and every one of us. So every one of the qualities that exist in Ganesh exist in each and every one of us. And the translation or the moral of the story becomes, regardless of what circumstances you're presented with, you know, Ganesh's quill broke, but he still had this job to complete. He was able to take a part of his own self to be able to continue on the tradition that he was looking to continue on. And Mariel always says that it's, he took one of his own afflictions. They're called kleshas in Sanskrit. And there's a few of them. There's ego, there's ignorance, there's 5 more. I don't have my notes in front of me, so I can't remember them, but next week I will. And you're able to turn those afflictions, those kleshas, into Lakshmis or beauty marks or something to bring greatness to the world that you live in. So Ganesh was able to take his own tusk, break it off to be able to transcribe and give all of us one of the greatest texts in the world. So I'm mentioning this to you now because all month long we've been working towards binds and wrapping ourselves around ourselves. It's a lot in the shoulders, it's a lot in the body, and we all come to practice with different, not necessarily afflictions, but things that we're faced with. And so how do we take this time to be able to turn what it is that afflicts us into something that brings even more greatness into the world outside? How to turn your kleshas into Lakshmis or beauty marks. So we'll see where it takes us as we move towards 1,000,001 binds. Your strap will be your best friend, always and forever. It helps give you more room, more spaciousness in the shoulders, and I really invite you to use all of the tools at your availability to create more space than might have ordinarily existed. I said this last week, I'll say it each week. That was only 7 minutes. September, October, and November in the beginning of my classes are just more chatty than the rest of the time because there's so much good storytelling and mythology to share. But the class schedule is stacked. Larry, Mariel, everyone might get you straight into practice quicker than I do, so I take no offense if you come to class earlier or after, and I can see you in December when we'll start to practice right away. But you'll have to give me just these couple of months to chat in the beginning because there's a lot to share. But we'll start together in a comfortable seat, however that looks for you. You can definitely start lying down if you'd like to start laying on the floor. You might start cross-legged. You might sit on your knees. You might be up on props just to stack the deck in your favor, to remove the obstacles out of your own way. But as you find your seat, let your eyes close or soften so you can listen for your breath. When we close our eyes, it gives us a moment to see ourselves more clearly than before. To begin to let each quiet breath gently dissolve the morning that was. Each breath lets you arrive to where you are now. And each breath that comes after makes space for what has yet to come. So as you continue to listen and notice your breath, can you feel it steadily begin to deepen, letting each inhale move from the nose, down into your belly, and up into your heart. And as you exhale, offer the breath up and out through the very crown of your head, creating more space for more breath. Take a few more rounds of that same breath, just on your own, letting each inhale move in, back, down and wide. And as you exhale, can you offer the breath back down into the earth and up and out through every fiber of your being? Our time together will start with 3 more rounds of that same breath. You can give yourself a moment to gather your hands to center anywhere that feels for you, on your person, or perhaps in front of your heart in that moment of self-reverence. If your hands are in Anjali Mudra, you might pull your thumbs back to touch your heart as you lift your heart up into your hands to meet yourself where you are. Wait for your next inhale as it fills you up completely. And exhale to offer that breath out. 2 more times on your own. At the bottom of your breath, pause for a moment. Take notice of any difference that comes when you listen for and really remember your breath. And now, keeping that attention as best as you can, gently release your hands, blink your eyes open, and let's start standing today at the top of your mat to start to link breath and movement together. So have your blocks framing out the front of your mat. You might start to use them as we move about. But as you find your way to stand, let your feet be hip-width distance apart. Tiny bend in your knees just so that they don't lock. And as you watch for your neighbors around you, wait for the inhale as you reach the arms forward and up to get tall. And exhale to stay tall. You just let your hands come down by your sides. Let's do that 3 more times. Big breath in, reach up. And as you exhale, soften the knees as the arms come down by your sides. Twice more. Breathe into your belly. Breathe into your heart. Get 1 inch taller. And on your exhale, let the hands come down while the crown of your head reaches up. 1 more big breath in. How tall can you get? And now as you exhale, soften your knees to fold over your legs. Bring your fingertips to blocks or the floor out in front of you. Soften your knees as much as you need to let the low back get heavy. And even let your head get heavy towards the earth. If it feels okay for your neck and for your shoulders, maybe even gently nod your head yes, or slowly nod your head no. And just let gravity allow for the weight of your head to soften to the earth. Take a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. And now plant your palms to the top of your mat. 1 foot at a time, walk your feet to the back of your mat to take it back to downward facing dog. In your down dog, feel free to stay still. You might pedal your heels 1 at a time from side to side, or even soften and straighten your legs simultaneously. But a slower, deeper breath in and a long, clear breath out through every fiber of your being. Now on your next inhale, come forward to plank pose. Find the top of your push-up. With your knees up or down, push the floor away from you and think tailbone towards your heels as you slide the chest forward. Big breath in. And on your exhale, bend your elbows to lower all the way down to your belly. Wait for the inhale to rise for cobra or baby cobra as you lift up through the heart. And on your exhale, we'll meet again in downward facing dog or tabletop or puppy pose. 3 steady breaths. Like the story mentioned, all of these aspects of Ganesh, this remover of obstacles, they're aspects of you. So here, as you clear the path out of your own way, can you take a deeper breath in and a longer, steadier breath out through every fiber of your being? When you find your next exhale, lift your heels high, soften your knees, look forward, and 1 foot at a time, walk your feet up towards your hands to come into your forward fold. Wait for your inhale to come up halfway, hands to shins or blocks as you grow long. And on your exhale, fold, bowing into yourself. Take a long breath in to rise. Stand through your legs, touch the sky, get a drop taller. And exhale to let the hands come down by your sides. Wait for your next breath as the arms reach up 1 more time. On your exhale, soften your knees to fold. Inhale to come up halfway. Take the whole breath. And as you exhale, fold over your legs one more time. Keep your right foot forward, step your left foot all the way back to catch your lunge. And now come high up onto your fingertips or blocks on either side of that right foot. Keep your left hand down on the ground. And as you inhale, reach the right fingertips straight ahead towards the top of your mat. As you reach forward through the right hand, can you resist as you tack the right hip back, get longer. Now big breath in. And as you exhale, let's twist open to the right, a big circle as you revolve. Twice more. Inhale to reach the right arm back and then forward again. And every exhale, revolve. One more time, just see what the shoulder, the wrist, the forearm feels like. And now the third time you twist open to the right, stay here for a breath. Lift that back left thigh higher up off the floor. Tack your right front hip back. And then can you lean back against the steadiness you've created? One more breath in. Stay for the exhale as you bend into that front right thigh. And now inhale to unwind. Lower the right hand. We'll step it forward. All the hops are one big leap for left foot to meet the right. Inhale to bring you halfway up to lengthen. And on your exhale, fold, bowing into yourself. The left foot stays forward as you step back through the right. That lunge on the other side. When you come high up onto your fingertips or blocks, just create some space between the belly and the left thigh. And now right hand down as the left arm reaches straight ahead. How long can you get? Stretch forward through the left fingertips, but resist as the left hip moves back in space. Take a big breath in. And now with your breath, revolve, twist to the left. Twice more. How big of a circle can you make with that left arm? See what the wrist, the shoulder, the forearm, and the chest feels like. And now the third time you twist to the right, stay there breathing for a few rounds. Can you lift that back right thigh a drop higher? Tack your front left hip back. And then as the shoulders and ears slide back, lean back against yourself. One more breath in. Stay for your exhale as you bend into that front left thigh. And then inhale to unwind. Lower the hands. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Step back through the left foot. Pedal your heels one at a time from one side to the other. And take notice of what you feel. And now wait for your inhale as you come forward to plank pose. Exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Slow, steady breath in to rise, Bhujangasana. Hug your shoulder blades towards each other. And on your exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. Slow down the next breath in and clear the next exhale out through every direction of you. And now as you inhale, lift the right leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Spin your back heel to the floor. And let's come up to extended side angle. Right forearm to your right thigh. Left hand can start on your hip. It can reach up to the sky or sweep overhead towards the front of the room. But keep the right knee and toes pointing straight ahead towards the front of your mat. And as you push down into the right elbow, shrug the right shoulder up and back to create space. Now slide the ears back. As you take a big breath in, stay for your exhale, bend into that right thigh as you stretch through the left fingertips, get longer. Now keep the legs where they are, reach the left arm towards the wall behind you. As you inhale, rise, warrior two. Stay for your exhale as you bend into that front leg. Now inhale to just reach the arms to the sky.
Bend your right elbow, give yourself a pat on the back. Let the left fingertips head in. Take elbow up towards the ceiling, the collar. Press your head back towards stretching.
And then slide the ribs back. As you
Remember your breath. Take a big breath in, down, and around. Stay for your exhale, bend into that right side. Elbow open towards the pinky toes. Raise the elbow to the sky. Good. Inhale to release.
those arms to a T. Push the right leg straight. Get long in each direction. And triangle pose. Right hand to your block or to the floor, inside or outside of that front leg. That's it. With the right knee and toes pointing more or less ahead. Feel both feet on the ground. And now give them a hug in towards each other. Imagine the right foot pulling back and the left foot pulling forward. I know I saw the eyes of like, is she going to turn the fans on? I'm turning them on, I promise. As you hug your feet in towards each other, Push the right hand down into the block or floor and reach the left arm 1 more inch to touch the sky. Take a big breath in. And now stay for your exhale, a side stretch. Sweep the left arm forward towards the front of the room. Can you reach through the left fingertips? Press the pinky side edge of your left foot down. And now slide the ears back to lean back against yourself. Beautiful. Inhale to unwind. Lower the hands. Bend your right knee. Let's meet in downward facing dog. Hips to the sky. Pedal the heels. Notice what you feel and see. And now one more time together. Wait for your inhale as you come through to plank pose. Grow long. Exhale to lower. Chaturanga Dandasana. Slow breath in to rise. Bhujangasana. Slide the ears back to lift your chin. And on your exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. No rush. Float the left leg to the sky. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Pivot your back heel to the floor. And for Parsva Konasana, extended side angle. Left elbow to the left thigh. The right fingertips can reach up or towards the front of the room. But here, when my left forearm comes to the left thigh, the left shoulder tends to drop. Can you push into the left forearm, shrug the left shoulder up and back, and slide the ears back. Now as you stretch through the right hand, take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale, bend 1 more inch into the left thigh as you reach through the top right fingertips. Now legs stay steady. Inhale to reach back through the right arm, come up to rise. Virabhadrasana 2, bend into the front leg. Reach just the arms up, get as tall as you can.
Bend your left knee with the right fingertips, hold on. Elbow to the ceiling. If you gently twist your head back to lift your chin, look at the space for breath to come through. Slide the ribs back as you press your head back. Take a full breath in. Stay for your exhale, bend 1 more inch into the left thigh as your downward left arm open toward your left pinky toes. And now release those arms
out to a T. Press the left leg straight, reach through the arms, grow tall through the top of your head. Trikonasana, left fingertips to your block or to the earth, in or outside of that front foot. And now here, from the outside, it might seem like it's a stationary pose, but can you find that movement within? So with each inhale, pull your feet towards each other. You'll feel that energy run up from the ground into the hips. And now as you push down into that left arm, reach the right fingertips 1 more inch to touch the skylights overhead. Beautiful. Take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale, that side stretch. Sweep your right fingertips towards the top of your mat. Can you press through the back right pinky toes? And as you reach through the right waist, the right fingers, slide the ears back to lean back. On your inhale, unwind, lower the hands. Bend your left knee. We'll meet again in downward facing dog as you pedal the heels from side to side. Notice what you see and feel. And now inhale through to plank pose. On your exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Stay on the ground. If you have your strap, have it close by. You might use it for the second round that we go into. But for locust pose, we'll do it with the arms free first. So stretch your arms alongside of you, flip your palms down to face the floor. And before we lift off, hug your inner thighs towards each other. They don't have to touch, but feel them magnetize in. And now shrug your shoulders to your ears, squeeze the shoulder blades together. As you inhale, lift your head, lift your chest, float your arms up off the earth, and exhale to let the legs lift up and away from the ground. Let your eyes close or soften completely to really listen for the sound of your breath. Every time you inhale, can you hug your inner thighs towards each other? Think inseams of your pants towards the sky to clear space in the low back. Now hug the shoulder blades together. Lift your palms 1 more centimeter. Big breath in. And on your exhale, release. Lower all the way down. You can make a pillow with your hands. You might rest on your forehead or on one of your cheeks. But breathe into the fullness of your belly. The more you breathe into your belly, the more space you might create in your low back, touching the air above you. Can you breathe into your chest and feel space in the back of your heart? Now we'll take it 1 more time. And you have the option, do exactly what you just did with the arms free. This will give you lots of space in the chest. Or find your strap at your low back to hold between your hands. I like to start a little wider than the hips. You might bring your fingertips closer together. But this is the first of the binds. If you also want to interlace your hands, you can interlace your hands, but with your thumbs facing each other, hug your shoulder blades towards each other. Now on your inhale, lift your head, lift your chest, float your arms up off your butt, and exhale to let the legs lift up and away from the ground. Close or soften your eyes and really listen for the fullness of your breath. Hug your thighs towards each other. Think inseams of your pants towards the sky. And now try and tug your fingers or your strap apart and bring the shoulder blades together to lift the arms 1 more inch. Biggest breath in yet. And on your exhale, release, lower down, ditch the strap, rest on the other cheek or on the other palm. You might wiggle your tush from side to side or stay still, breathing full and steady into your belly. A bigger breath in through the nose and exhale through your nose or parted lips to let all of that breath out. And now after a few breaths here, bring your hands to either side of your chest, press yourself up through to tabletop. Come to your hands and your knees. And from table, we'll be here for a breath or two as we take a few thigh stretches. So feel free to pad your knees with a blanket if you'd like some extra cushioning. You might have your blocks close by. But for a thigh stretch with a twist, come to table and bring your right foot to the outside of your right hand for that lizard lunge variation. Check to see that your left knee is behind your left hip. You might walk it back. And now left hand stays down on the floor or on a block as you climb your right palm up onto your right thigh. From your belly button, twist your chest open to the right. And now hug your back left knee forward. Bend your left knee, lift your left toes up off the floor. You can stay here, or your right hand might reach towards the back of the room. You might hold the foot, or you might find a strap to lasso around that left foot. Maybe you even hold the leg of your pants. But as you shrug that top right shoulder up and back, shrug the bottom left shoulder up and back, slide the ears back to lift your chin. Take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale and bend 1 more inch into that front right leg. And now inhale to slowly release the hold of your foot. Plant your palms, take it back to table. And a few breaths here, maybe a few breaths in cat and cow, or in stillness, as you remember how your body and breath link together again. And then after a few rounds, come on back to all fours. Second side, left foot to the outside of your left hand for that lizard lunge. Keep your right hand down on the ground or on a block as your left palm comes to your left thigh. I find the higher up on a block I go, the more access I have to finding the foot, but you can explore. But as you hug your right knee forward, bend your right knee to lift the right toes up, and then the left hand can reach back. You might lasso a strap around the foot. You might hold the leg of your pants. You might hold the foot itself. But shrug both shoulders towards your ears, and then hug your shoulder blades together. As you listen for the breath, take a big breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale. Let the belly turn to the left. As you bend into that front left thigh, let it get heavier. And now inhale to release the hold of your leg. Plant your palms, take it back to tabletop. And after a few breaths, when you're ready, we'll meet in downward facing dog as you lift your hips up and back to the wall behind you. Pedal the heels. Notice what you feel and see from side to side. Now on your next inhale, float the right leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. And as you pivot your hands and feet over to the left, come into your wide-legged forward fold, facing the long edge of your mat. Tiny bend in your knees, especially if they lock. And now feel both feet on the ground as you hug them in towards each other. You'll feel those inner thighs engage. Take a big breath in here. And on your exhale, you might soften your elbows as you bow in towards yourself. Take 1 more big breath in, let it fill you up. And exhale to offer all of that breath out. And now let your head stay heavy. Turn the right knee and toes to catch your lunge. And on your inhale, we'll meet in high lunge. Take the whole breath to reach your arms, your chest, and your torso to the sky. Walk the right foot as much as you need to the right, so you're less on a balance beam. But lift that left thigh higher. Wrap your left hip forward and tack the right hip back. And as you reach up through the arms, look away from the ground, take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale and bend 1 more inch into that left foot. Now hands come to your hips. We come up to stand, all the hops you need to spring off your left foot. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. And for standing figure 4, think hips to the back of your mat as you lift your chest to the sky. Your hands can go anywhere to help your balance, to your hips, to your heart. If you want to hold blocks high out in front of you to hold something solid, please feel free to do so. But flex that left foot as much as you can. And as you take it to the breath, take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale, let your hips get heavier as you lift your heart up to the sky. And now inhale to come all the way up to rise. Lower the left foot down, feel gravity beneath you, and reach the arms up to the sky. Grab your left wrist. Grow up and over to the right for standing crescent, a side stretch. As you tip over to that right-hand side, let your hips sway off center to the left. Slide the ears back to lift your chin. Maybe the arms come back in line with your ears to broaden through the chest. Now inhale to come all the way up to center. Reach up, touch the sky, and on your exhale, fold as you bow in. Plant your palms to the top of your mat. Walk those feet all the way back to take it to downward facing dog. Stay right here breathing. You can always lower your knees to the ground and take a few breaths close to gravity. Or let your breath take you through one of those linking vinyasas we've done together already. But wherever you go, moving around or staying still, let it be a full offering to your breath, a bigger breath in and a steadier, fuller breath out. As you let your next breath or two bring you to down dog, there's no rush. Float the left leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Pivot your hands and feet to the right to come into that wide-legged forward fold. And now once again, hands to your hips. Take a big breath in to come all the way up to stand. And we'll add a shoulder stretch onto this one. So you get the option. I love the strap because it gives my chest a lot of space. You can also interlace your fingers with that awkward thumb on top. But once your hands come behind your back, with a strap or not, keep the elbows bent. Hug your shoulder blades together and lift your chest. Take a big breath in. And on your exhale, hinge at your hips once again. Reach your arms up to the sky as you bow in towards yourself. Now, when my arms lift up, my elbows usually lock. So can you take a tiny bend in your elbows, one that you don't see, but you can feel? And now create some resistance. Tug your strap apart. Hug your shoulder blades together and breathe into the front of your chest. Take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale. Maybe the arms reach up and overhead. And then slowly release the hands back down to your tush. When you're ready, ditch the strap. Turn the left knee and toes to catch your lunge. And on your inhale, come up to rise. On the second side. Then walk the left foot as much as you need to the left. With the steadiness from this pose, and then come to the leg that we can't see, the back one. So can you lift the right shoulder to the right side up? And as you stretch up through the arms, work away from the ground, take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale and bend into that left thigh. Let your hands come to overhead or bring them to your hips. But that's the best spring off your right foot, right under the chest. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. And if your hands from your hips like touch to the back of the leg, if you reach your chest forward. Wherever your hands are to steady your balance, flex through the right foot, lift up through the heart. As you take a big breath in, stay for your exhale. Take hips hover to the ground as you lift your chest up to the sky. And now as you come up to rise, lower the right foot down, reach the arms up, grab your right wrist. We go up and over to the left for standing crescent. Hips can sway off center to the right, but as you tip to the left, can you slide the ribs back? Slide the ears back to lift your chin,
Release your arms come back along with your ears to broaden through the chest. Big breath in over up the center, touch the sky.
And on your exhale, fold, bowing in. Plant your palms to the top of your mat. Walk those feet all the way back to take it back to downward facing dog. And now everyone lower your knees to the ground. You can sit back onto your heels, sip some water, shake it out. Comfortably toasty, the fans are helpful. There's a method to the madness. We want to get a little warm to go to where we're going, and then we're going to therapy ball into coolness. So if it gets too hot or cold, let me know. But we'll do a little shoulder work. Not to put her on the spot, but my beloved cousin is visiting, and we got to take class with her friend and yoga teacher in India. And the beauty of yoga is that I did not invent it. None of us invented it, but it's so fun to take classes from other teachers and friends. It's like once you know how the sausage is made, you get to appreciate how other sausages are made. I know that's not how the phrase goes, but we did a lot of shoulder work and mobility, so I'm gonna, from Preeti, steal a little bit from her, and we'll give her kudos where kudos is due. So, find your strap, stagger slightly with your friends. We're gonna do that shoulder flossing work. So if you feel like you're gonna bonk into someone next to you, maybe one comes forward, one comes back. But here, set your feet up so that you can take a few breaths. Bring your legs as close as you can together. Tuck all 10 of your toes under, and then begin to sit back onto the heels to feel the arches of your feet. You can be here if this feels like too much sensation, which it might. To alleviate pressure, you can bring a block between your heels and tush. You can also stand on your knees and keep the heels lifted. But hold the strap between your hands, bring it wider than your shoulders. And now as you inhale, reach the arms up and then back. If you need to give yourself more slack on the strap, give it to yourself. But let's do that a couple of times. Each inhale, the arms go up, and even exhale through the nose or mouth as the arms come down. Twice more. Breathe in, grow tall through the spine. Sometimes shoulders feel very different. Sometimes they feel the same. Sometimes there's a spot where you get to where you're like, what's happening here? Just notice the whole range. And now the next time you bring your arms back forward, release the strap off to the side. Come back to all fours, shake it out as needed. Pad your feet out as needed, and find your way back to your hands and your knees. Now this time, for a moment in supported side plank, bring your hands as wide as your mat if they're not already. Let your left index finger point straight ahead to the front of your mat. And now stretch the right leg back behind you, tuck the right toes under. For a kickstand, swing your left heel to the left and turn your right heel to the ground like warrior two. Your right hand can come to your right hip. It might reach up to the sky. It might sweep overhead towards the front of your mat. But wherever you are, can you push down and forward through the left hand and use that leverage to turn your belly and chest open to the right and maybe up to the sky. Take a bigger breath in. Stay for your exhale. And then inhale to lower hand and knee back to the floor and take it back to tabletop. Let's switch sides. Stretch the left leg back. Swing your right heel to the right. And with your right hand as wide as the right side of your mat, climb your left hand to your hip, reach it up to the sky, or sweep it overhead towards the front of the room. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, can you push through the bottom right hand to turn your belly open to the left, maybe even up to the sky. And now on your inhale, unwind, lower the hands, lower the knees, sit back onto your heels for a moment and take a breath or two as I show you where we're going next. So we've done a whole bunch of binds. This is the last of the series. I'll show you the range and then you get to decide where it is that you'd like to go. So if we remember, we did that version, we'll come to down dog in a moment, but we did that version of extended side angle. You're more than welcome to do all of this without the strap. Stay here, and then perhaps we move into triangle pose. So same that we did, but sometimes the second round that you do it, you kind of get out of your own way and you can think more of your breath, or at least I can. Now the next step is if you want to add maybe half a bind, you can reach one arm up to the sky, turn the palm back behind you, and this hand can come to your low back or your hip, and you breathe here, maybe moving in towards half-bound triangle pose. If you want to work the bind with both arms catching, I like to use the strap, One of my teachers used to call it the T-Rex arms. Like when the arms, some of us just anatomically, the arms are short. So reaching for your hands behind your back, behind your leg, next lifetime, you know, when we come back as a giraffe or whatever the animal is with long arms. But the strap will prove to give you lots of space so that you can find leverage. So this is what it looks like. You find the strap behind your leg, and then give yourself as much slack as you need. So instead of leaning forward, you pull the strap apart and lean back against yourself. That's the sensation we're seeking. You can stay here, or maybe you move towards bound triangle pose. You push the front leg straight, and then same, tug the strap apart to revolve your chest open to the sky. And then the last variation of what we'll do is we'll come out of it, come to downward facing dog. You can do that extended, the supported side plank again, or perhaps you move towards Vashisthasana this way, pushing through the hand, turning your chest open to the sky. Yeah? I found when I teach this, it's best to show it rather than talking you through it because we're doing a lot of balance stuff. So you have different stages of what to work towards. I'll talk you through it all, take breaks, and work on the variations that you desire. So when you're ready, come to downward facing dog. Have your block and your strap within a grabbable distance. You might use them as we start to move about. Now, as you find your way to down dog, take a full round of breath. Ganesh, the remover of obstacles, just as much he is the obstacle himself. Can you take a breath here as you clear the path out of your own way? And now lift the right leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Climb your right, spin your back heel to the floor, right forearm to your right thigh. We come to extended side angle. Maybe you have the strap in your left hand as you come up to rise. Reach the left arm all the way up to the sky. Stay here, breathing. Or for the half bind, turn your left palm to face the wall behind you. Bend your left elbow and let the back of your hand come to your low back. Stay here in the half bind. Or let your right arm come in front of your right thigh, bow in, and grab the dangly edge of the strap behind your left leg. Give yourself as much slack as you need on the strap. And as you tug your strap apart, can you slide the shoulders back and lean back against yourself? Take a bigger breath in. Stay for your exhale. And now for half bound or bound triangle, look to the right foot. Push the right foot down and forward to straighten the right leg. Maybe you give yourself more slack on the strap as needed. But tug your fingers or strap apart. Slide the shoulders back and lean back against yourself. Big breath in. Stay for your exhale, and then on your inhale, release the hold of your strap, bend your right knee, plant your palms, and take it back to downward facing dog. One more thing to try out. If you're going into supported side plank, you'll lower your left knee to the ground, spin your left heel to the left, and open up to the right side of your mat. If both knees are lifted, spin both heels to the left, all 10 toes to the right. And as your left hand stays down on the ground, right palm to your right hip, or right arm to the sky or overhead. But push your left hand down and forward and spin your belly and chest open to the sky as you slide the ears back. One more breath in. You might stay for your exhale, maybe sweep your right arm forward towards the floorboards, touching your mat in front of you. Whee! And then lower the hands to the ground as you take it back to downward facing dog. Nice. Offer it to the steadiness of your breath, a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. And now one more side, and we'll come to lie down and roll after this. So when you're ready, float the left leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. For extended side angle, spin your back heel down, left forearm to left thigh, and the strap in your right hand as you come up to rise. Reach the right arm up to the sky. Turn your right palm to face the wall behind you. And as you bend your right elbow, you might bring your right hand to your hip, or right hand to the low back. Stay in the half bind, or as you look down, bow in and grab the dangly edge of the strap behind your left thigh. Instead of bringing it towards your butt, kind of slide the strap closer towards the front left thigh. Now tug your strap apart. Create resistance and lean back against yourself. Take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale. Bend 1 more inch into that front left leg. Now for triangle pose, look down to the left foot. Push the left foot down and forward to straighten your left leg. Maybe more slack on the strap as needed. And as you tug your strap apart, lean back. Wee, good. On an inhale, release the hold of your strap. Bend your left knee. Plant your palms. Take it back to downward facing dog. Come to supported side plank if you'd like with the right knee down as you stretch your left leg back. Or pivot both heels to the right and turn all 10 toes to the left. As you push into those palms, let the left hand get lighter, maybe to your hip, maybe to the sky. But push down and forward through the right hand and turn your heart and your belly open to the left. Take 1 more breath in. Stay for your exhale. Maybe the left arm sweeps forward as if you could touch the floorboards in front of your mat. Now look to the earth, bring your hands to the ground, and take it back to downward facing dog. Last round of class. Take a full breath in, and on your exhale, lower your knees all the way to the earth. Come to sit on your tush. Swing your legs out in front of you. Before we lie fully down, we'll take a moment in reverse table to broaden through the chest. So bend your knees, feet on the floor. Bring your hands behind your tush, as wide as your mat. I like to have my thumbs facing forward. It gives me more space through the chest. But you can definitely have your fingertips facing forward. But before you lift your butt up, scoot your hips towards your heels. Keep your butt down, and as you push through your arms, lift the chest. This is the sensation we seek. If you want more weight in the arms and shoulders, push down and forward through your feet to lift your hips up. You can look at your knees, or without cricking the neck, slide the throat back to look up to the sky. But push down and forward through your feet to lift your hips. Push your palms down and apart to lift the back of your chest. Take 1 more breath in, and on your exhale, lower your butt all the way to the ground. Do a little spin. Come to lie on your back so that your head is up towards me. Your feet are to the wall behind you. Have your therapy balls within a grabbable distance. If you need some, you can raise a hand and Kashika and I can bring some over to you. But let them come down onto your back. We'll use them in a moment. Bend your knees, bring both feet onto the floor. And with your feet as wide as your mat, take up some space. Take a big breath in. Thank you. And on your exhale, drop your knees to the left. Wait for the inhale as the knees come up through center. And exhale to drop your knees to the right. Do that 1 more time on your own. Just clear space in the belly, clear space in the low back, clear space through the hips. And now once you've gone evenly from right to left, draw the knees and feet back through center. Give them a hug in towards your chest, a squeeze, an embrace. You might stay still. You might roll gently from side to side. But with the back of your head and your tailbone heavy on the ground, take a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. Now release the hold of your legs if you're grabbing onto them. I'm going to talk you through therapy balls in the upper back, but if there's any other region that you know that you're preferring or craving this afternoon, please feel free to take it. You're also more than welcome to set up early for Shavasana. We'll meet you there very soon. But you can keep the therapy balls in their tote or take them all the way out. But as you lift your head and shoulders up off the ground, pop the tennis balls in between your shoulder blades to either side of your spine, right in the upper back. Again, like I mentioned, there's no wrong place for these therapy balls to go. I just invite you to be in a place where you can find the full depth of your breath. If you come down onto the ground and you'd like to alleviate some pressure, you might bring your head up onto a block, like a little pillow. But as your arms fall anywhere they fall, on your body or alongside of you, close your eyes to really listen for the fullness of your breath. Take a deep breath in through the nose, and even open your mouth to let all of that breath go. Like the story from the very beginning of class, Ganesh broke off his own tusk to continue what it is that he was tasked with doing. His affliction turned into beauty, something to offer greater to the world around. And so here with the therapy balls in the upper back, not an affliction, but just a tendency we all have of where we hold the weight of the world. Can you let yourself soften to become more receptive, to create more space than there might have been before? You can stay here for a few breaths, or if you'd like to explore 2 more regions, with your knees bent, feet on the ground, gently push through your feet to roll your body towards your head, towards the front of the room, until those therapy balls come down your back to the middle of the shoulder blades, just a couple of inches lower than where they just were. Bring your block with you if you have it, but let your head release as you close your eyes and offer it fully to your breath. Take a slow, deep breath in through the nose and open your mouth to let all of that breath out. The longer your exhales become, the heavier your upper back might become to the earth. You can stay right here, or for one more time, with your knees bent, feet on the ground. Press through your feet just enough to roll your body north until those therapy balls come south to the bottom tips of your shoulder blades. If and when you find this third new place, close or let your eyes soften to really listen for the breath, a bigger breath in and a longer breath out. And now we'll make that exit journey the same way we entered. You can begin to scooch your hips towards your heels and roll your body towards the back of your mat until those therapy balls come up your back. Sometimes they also take t-shirts with you, so you can roll to one side and push them out of the way. But however they exit, do let them fully exit for the remainder of rest. For sometimes they create more tension than softness. As you drape your upper back onto the earth, can you take a breath into what you don't see with your eyes, but you can more than clearly feel? And the next place we'll meet is in rest. So give yourself a moment or two to add or remove any layers or props. You might let your hair down, you might let your glasses set safely off to the side. But if there's anything you can take for yourself to become even 1% more comfortable than you are already, please feel free to take it. But it's here as you rest, where each breath gently dissolves the practice that was. Each breath lets you arrive to where you are now. And each breath that comes after makes space for what has yet to come. So as you continue to slow and steady your breath down, can you let each breath that you take let you become heavier into the earth? And the heavier you let yourself become, the lighter, the more spacious, and the more expansive you may just begin to feel. Begin to deepen your breath. Take a longer breath in and a sweeter breath out. Take another breath in, down, and wide. And as you exhale, offer all of that breath out. Let your breath begin to awaken the body that you're in and the very being that you are with any gentle movement that just feels good to you. You might slowly roll your wrists or ankles in one or the other direction. Perhaps you tip your head from side to side, heavy against the earth. Or just watching for props and neighbors around you. You might reach your arms away from your legs or draw your knees in towards your chest. But when the time comes, we'll all meet with the knees bent, one or both arms overhead as you roll over to any side of your choice to curl into yourself. And when you're ready, push down into the ground and come up to rise to your seat the same way you began. With a tall spine, those eyes softly closed or softly open, can you once again listen for your breath? Take a deep breath in, down, and wide. And as you exhale, offer the breath up and out in every direction. We'll finish our time together with one more of those same breaths. You can place your hands to anywhere that feels like center for you. Take a deep breath in to let it all go. You might bow your head to your hands or lift your hands to your head in such a simple yet sweet gesture of self-reverence, bowing to yourself and to one another who practiced right alongside with you. And with all of our hearts, Kaushika and I bow to each and every one of you all. Thank you so very much for being here. Thank you. Great to be with you all. Thank you so much for coming. There's wipes and things if you used any mats from the studio that you want to wipe down, but they also get wiped afterwards. And while you're de-setting up, drink lots of water, Enjoy the weather. Some tiny announcements, yoga and not yoga related. Voter registration deadline is October 21st. I know I'm probably preaching to the choir, but we were sitting in Clark Park the other day and 6 people came up to us, so I'm just passing along the good word. If you changed your address, if you did anything, please, please, please do the things that you need to. The internet has a lot of resources for the Sixer Stadium in Chinatown of who to call, of what to do to make your voices heard if that's of interest to you. I've been sharing it on my socials. All of this is a very yogic act, so very related to our practice. And then yoga stuff. Next week we talk goddess stories. It's the holiday Navratri, the holiday of the goddess. So each week in class will be different stories about her. I'm doing a special cute storytime workshop on October 6th. All that's on the internet if you're available. And then this Saturday I'm teaching the last of the free art museum classes. It's been a dream. The weather is pristine. You get $10 off to the museum if you come to class. It's from 9 to 10, so if you're an early bird, which I have turned into one, it's so sweet to see familiar faces, so you could come through. My dad will be there, my cousin will be there if she feels so inclined. So it'd be great to see you. And then my dad's doing a free concert on October 13th in West Philly. He'll be playing the tabla and the classical Indian flute, and his friend, who is an adult human psychologist, will be playing the harmonium and singing classical Indian music songs and Bollywood songs. You can come and go whenever you'd like. I just am announcing it to everyone because I think it's the cutest thing in the world. So would love to see you if you're there. It's like 7 to 9 in West Philly at Studio 34. I'll share it on my socials, but bring anyone you like. How are you doing? Anyone else have announcements? Things going on in your worlds, your lives that you want to share?
I'll do a plug for the Philadelphia Fringe Festival.
Yes, please.
Get out, see some theater.
Yes. Any suggestions? Are you in any? Do you know people who are in stuff? Congratulations.
But there's tons of beautiful work.
Yeah, and still a couple weeks.
Skating stuff, just 1 more week.
1 more week. Thank you for sharing. Bye, y'all. Take care. Fringe.
Thank you for your class.
Thank you for coming.
I thought I had never been to one of your classes
Yeah.
until you said about your father.